Go like this. Hello and welcome. It's Thursday, it's 12:30 p.m. It's time for OneStream.Live for Business with myself and Joe. Hello, Joe.
Stephen, how are you? Are you well?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, the sun
Good.
is shining.
Well, it is, and as you can see by my slightly redness, I've been out doing the decking and tidying up stuff today, and
Yeah,
it is. I should find a more leisurely thing to do. I think in the sun, like this.
indeed. Right, now today we're going to look at how to broadcast live to your website, and this is going to be done in sections. I think the first place to start is if I hide that and I hide that. Let's come to myself and Joe side by side. And basically, start at the beginning because the first question is why should you broadcast live to your website? And I just put my 2 pence in and then it's over to you. First of all, if you broadcast on Facebook or YouTube, you're actually working for somebody else because as you're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, people are seeing adverts in their timeline over which you have no control. And Facebook and YouTube are the ones earning money, not you. So whilst it's a good place to broadcast, nothing against Facebook or YouTube, you're actually working for them rather than for yourself, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I have an issue over the algorithm as well. I mean, they all have the place in the round. It's a bit like live streaming, dovetailing in with a marketing and a social media package. It all has to be done. But if you rely purely on social media, it is working for them. It is making money for other people, and you're not in control. If 100% of the people, 100% of the time, so 100% of the content you put out, I could live it, to greater or lesser degrees, but it doesn't. The algorithm dictates how much is seen, and therefore you're not in control. Apart from that, though, the biggest and the best point of going live to somebody, to an individual organization or business's own website is this: you're in control. You're driving people, not going click in, click in, click in. So they're not going from a platform. By the way, we already know that things like Facebook don't like you clicking into something else. We know that people don't like then clicking into something else as well. So it works on both ways. It's a negative, double negative for me, which doesn't in this case make a positive. So going directly to a website means you're driving your followers, your clients, current and future, directly to where you want them to see your products, your services, or whatever it is that you want to share in that content. You build that engagement. You can click on a button. You can show them your product launch. You can show them the latest bit of product or service, or things that you want to sell. So you're educating them, you're informing them, you're engaging them. They're going to be an enjoyable process. We know, fact, they are more likely to buy once they're on your site and they've seen it.
Totally true. I'm just going to, right, okay. And if I go here, that's totally true. I mean, we spend our social media lives getting people to know, like, and trust us across platforms. But the main reason we're broadcasting live and we're actually telling people about our business, about our projects, about our passions is so that we can lead them somewhere. And the somewhere is your website. That's where you tell the full story. That's where your blog posts are. That's where your shop is.
Yeah.
And if you can drive people to your website, then whilst they are watching you live, we know that they will look around. And as they look around and they're listening to you, they can read your blogs and they can visit your shop and you can sell whilst you're live. And it's the most effective way of doing so. Live video, we know, is basically the magnet that pulls people in. Now, it's going to be like most things, it's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have two sides of the, at least one is actually getting the live video on your website, which we're going to talk about now. And second is building a tribe who actually come regularly to your website rather than going to Facebook and YouTube. Now, it has to be said that we're broadcasting on the website today, and we're going to show you exactly how that's done. And to do that, first thing I'm going to do is to share my screen. So I'm going to bring this into the equation, and at the top, this is my OneStream.Live account. Now, we looked yesterday at basically embedding a web page, but today we're looking at getting an embed to go into your blog post. On your website, you can have a blog post which has got the live video, or you can have a page which has got the live video. And the first step that you take is to go over here and go to Embed Player. And you've got a series of questions to ask. Now I'm going to explain what the questions are. So I'm just making sure it's still on screen. Player size. I've got to put my glasses on so I can see this. Now, if you just want a small window on your website, you can have small or large or custom. Now, I always build as custom and responsive. So custom and responsive are the two things. Responsive, basically, it will fill the space that you allow it. So if you've got 3 columns across your website, it will go in 1 column. If you just got 1 column, it will fill the full width of the web page. The second part is security, and this is tied in with monetizing as well. You can set it to be unsecured. In other words, anybody in the world can go to your website and watch, because your website, by definition, is public, and if it's unsecured, people don't need a password to get in. So the first step in terms of monetization, if you're building your tribe and you want to invite people, is to password protect it. And if you password protect it, you can give a password to actually get access to it. And that basically means you've not got the password, you can't get in, you can't see the video. And you then do the extra steps of saying, okay, click here to pay the $10, and then you can come into my website using this password. The final option is domain restricted. Now, the beauty of an HTML5 web player is that you can embed it anywhere. You can ask any of your friends, and this is important. I'll come to me. You can ask any of your friends to embed your broadcasts into their website. The primary aim is to have it on your own website, but if you have got friends around you who can host your broadcasts when you go live, then you're getting a bigger audience, and you can build, again, a second tribe, all of whom are willing to take your content. Yeah, and it can be a quid pro quo. You can go onto their website, and they can come onto yours. All sorts of things can sort of occur once you've actually got.
Well, everybody should still. I have no control over this now. This is an interesting one again. I was just looking for some documentation that to do with today's show from Stats Later, and then it went quiet. So there we are. But he's back now. The great man, him back. Chief,
Right.
welcome.
Okay. I don't know what was missed. Okay. I went full screen, then came back to here. Okay. Right. So, did you get the bit about unsecured and password protected?
We did. We got that bit.
And domain restricted, you can have your friends actually share the embed code into their own websites. Quid pro quo, they can actually send you an embed player. You can send them an embed player. You're actually increasing your audience at no cost to each other. The next part of it is, if you do have an embedded player on your website, it is going to be basically there 24/7. So you can now design a background to go there when you're not broadcasting. And this is obviously our show card for this week. And that shows when we're not live. You can have anything that you like. You can have one of the presets. There are 6 presets, or you can upload your own. And that will be the picture, the image that shows on the website. So you can change it and apply. Now, this is important. Adaptive bitrate. Always switch this on. Okay. Basically, you've got people watching your website in a browser on their desktop. You've got people watching your website on a mobile phone. Adaptive bitrate gives your viewer the best experience they can have. In other words, the video is encoded to suit their device. So it's encoded for the desktop or it's encoded for the mobile phone, and basically it means that they get the best experience. We don't have to do anything other than switch that on. Now, the final thing, and this is exclusive to OneStream, is that you can switch on the chat. Okay, you can embed the chat on your website, and that means that the chat will be available to everybody. So you've got you've got the video on the website, you've got down the side, as you'll see in a moment, you've got the chat. So that's all about configuring the player. So let's just run through that again. Player size, I always go for responsive, so it actually fills the space available. Security, you can have password protected or domain restricted. You can set the background to go on when you're not live. Adaptive bitrate, basically so your viewers get the best experience whether on desktop or mobile. And chat can be on, and basically people can chat whilst you are live. Once you've set all that up, it generates an embed code. Okay, so that's what you're after. You're after this code, which you can copy. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. I've copied the embed code. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. And hopefully this has worked. So I've got that code, and it's in, basically I've copied it, and I come over to my website and I go down. This is my website design, and you can see that we're actually live there at the moment. But if I go edit, the code that I've copied, just a minute, the code that I've copied goes in here. Okay, so you can put the player either in a blog post or on a web page. This is a web page, and as soon as you've done that, as you can see, we're actually live on the web page, and it's so simple and straightforward to do. It is a three-step operation. Design the player. Okay, and if we design the player, and then we have a situation, we've got the player designed, we copy the code, we go to our blog post, we set up an HTML template, and that enables us to actually paste the code into the blog or page, and that's it, job done. Okay, any thoughts, Joe? Oh, hang on, your mic, you're muted.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, there was noises outside where I am while you were talking. It's very interesting because I'm going through this process now of actually building my own OneStream.Live site. So I started going through that yesterday, and I one of those people that have had to work hard understanding RTMP links and HTML and all of that. We discussed previously about my non-geeky geekiness. So for me, everything is people, systems, processes. People, that system and the process is actually pretty straightforward, and it allays those fears. But again, you don't have to do it on your own in the same way as I go to you for advice and say, Chief, this bit isn't working. You can't break anything. I think that's one of the great things about live streaming on a platform. Not only have OneStream.Live given us permission to try and break it, find out the other things that we would want to have on, but it's pretty impossible to break the system. You know, you'll try something, you can go back and you'll learn from it, and you know what? It's a pretty good feeling. Plus, it goes back to again working with people that some people may say you're giving up the opportunity of business in the future, but the whole pathway from learning to earning with live streaming is about us taking the individual, the guests, they become hosts, producers, directors, they then train their own people, their self-sufficiency. But actually there's courses that go with that. There's ongoing consultancy which goes with that. And that's a much better way than the every month or every week or whatever, gives a small pot of money, we'll do it for you. You know, if you fall down, nobody's self-sufficient, and that's, I think, a much better way of that people should be coming to work on a joint venture with a live streaming professional.
Indeed, totally agree. Now, that is technically, that is all you need to do, is to go to the OneStream site, go to Embed Player, design your player, copy the code, go over to your WordPress website, create a blog, create an HTML section in your blog, paste the code that OneStream gives you, and that's it. It's there forever. You don't need to change it. Well, in ordinary circumstances, you don't need to change it. You can just set it and forget it. And every time you go live on your website. Speaking of which, Joe was kind enough to actually share into the stream here. And I'm going to press the right button this time. Into the stream here. If I go down here, and I think we've got this. Okay.
So,
And this is my live web page. And as you can see, we're actually live on the web page at the moment. So this is proof positive that it actually works. If you could scroll up, Joe, you can see that, yeah, basically this is Stephen Healey on the web, and I've got an explanatory video at the top, explains what's happening. And then whenever I go live, and whenever I go live on Facebook or YouTube or Amazon, then the broadcast is always on my website, and it's actually there with the chat, as you can see at the side. So people can talk whilst I'm live, and I can see the chat and I can react to it. And this means that the important thing here is that this is totally independent of Facebook or YouTube. You're not reliant on anything happening there. This is all happening on your website. And as you can see, if Joe scrolls down again, if you just go down again to book a demonstration, whilst you're broadcasting, people can actually be booking demonstrations with you. You can do anything because this is a blog post. You can take people off to your shop, you can take people off to your blogs, and they can comment whilst you're live in the chat, or they can comment on the blog post. This is your website. This is your turf. This is people actually communicating with you, and everything is on the one spot, which is your own website, which is our own turf. So you're in total control. You can show anything you want on this page. In addition to the live feed, we've got the story about OneStream.Live there and my connection with OneStream.Live. And then up above that, you're scrolling beautifully, Joe. We've got the live. You've got the live video, and it's just, once it's in place. I mean, I still think that this is amazing technology, and kudos for OneStream.Live for actually doing this, to actually be able to embed a web player into a blog post or a page, and just to go live at the drop of a hat, and for it to appear on the page, and for it to be crystal clear. And we can design the size of the player, we can embed chat or not, we can password it or not. And as I said, when we're actually designing the player itself, you can actually, that code there, or that bit there, I could actually give to Joe, and Joe could embed it into his website. That's a semi-request, Joe. Right, we could interchange. When Joe creates his web player, he could send me the embed code, and I can embed it in this page. So when I go live, it will show me. When Joe goes live, he's got an extra audience.
Absolutely. So I've got two questions for you, Chief. One is, when you create that embed code at the very beginning, and you put that in, you only need to do that once, correct? So once it's in, every time you go live, it automatically.
Yeah, the code doesn't change unless you change something.
Okay.
If you change the image, it doesn't change. If the image that shows when you're not live, if you change that, nothing's affected. So you can change the image as many times as you want. The only thing that changes if you change any of the other options. If you were, for example, to edit the player size or make it password only, then you'd have to change the code. But in normal use, there are no changes. So hopefully that helps with question one.
It does. and really, as we develop over the week, there are three great aspects to this. One, and all for the same cost, depending on what your package is. One is you can go broadcast live to up to 40 sites, but based on however many it is in your plan. You've got a built-in web page that you can build and you can integrate in and go live. What was the third one? What did we call yesterday? My brain's gone.
It's basically the live space.
Yeah, absolutely. It's phenomenal what you get for the price. And there's tutorials on everything, and it's just the amount of questions I've had this week on it have been unbelievable. I'm a bit of a bore, but if I think people just indulge me and yourself, Chief, for 2 minutes. Ye olde stats. I wrote these and I sent them to somebody. Somebody asked me about where live streaming was going. Some interesting takeaways from an excellent document. Live streaming stats 2023. Whoever it is, I love giving kudos to the people who write these things. I can't remember who it was, so forgive me for that. But here we go. So by 2027, estimates will be that the industry is worth 247 billion. 247 billion. So it's going to grow regardless of whether me or anybody else decides to. It's a much cheaper option. 96% of people say they've watched an explainer video to learn about a product or a service. Get them to your site, show them the product or service. You're doing it live. They can engage and ask questions with you. So if 96% of people say they have watched an explainer video to learn more about product or service, imagine that's there's only got 4% to go into the 100 thing. And let me tell you, the engagement is much better when it's live. Over 9.3 billion hours watched on Twitch last year, which is now the biggest live streaming platform worldwide. 79% say a brand's video has convinced them. 79% of people say a brand's video has convinced them to buy a piece of software or an app or a product. Videos on social media generate 1,200% more shares than text and images. Videos on social media generate 1,200%, 1,200% more shares than text or images. And companies that use video enjoy 41% more traffic from searches. There's a whole pile more. I'll give you some more tomorrow. But look, just want to get across to people that this isn't going away. It's only going to grow and grow. And with the advent of AI coming in, even we don't know how that's going to impact. But what it is going to impact on, it's going to enhance and complement everything that we're already ahead of the game. You want to get ahead of the game? Speak to people like myself and Stephen Healey, and we'll help you get there.
We most certainly will. I mean, we're actually at the moment creating a Udemy course which covers every aspect of the OneStream studio and all the facilities within OneStream, including the embed, explained in more detail because we're shoehorning this into 30 minutes, which just seems to fly by. So the full explanation will be in the Udemy course, which is due out mid-June. I'm spending my weekend working on it, and hopefully mid-June is the time it will be released. And the thing, just one thing to notice, if I change the screen now, and one thing to be aware of is that the web page broadcast is a few seconds behind what we're doing live. And that's because the transmission and basically the manipulation of the data over the internet, the checking that goes on. So this is normal. But the latency, which is the difference between what we see and what you're seeing in the web page down below, is very low. And that's one of the things that you want. You want a fast system. And OneStream is that. OneStream have servers around the world. And basically, also, in addition to that, once you've got an embed player, we've been talking about going live, as Joe and I are at the moment. But once you've got an embed player up on your site, because you're on OneStream, you can create your own television channel. And just as an example, by the end of this, Joe and I will have 6 episodes of 30 minutes each. They are already on OneStream because this show is being recorded on OneStream. If Joe and I want to put out a 3-hour television program of all 6 episodes back to back, pre-recorded on our website, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter or Twitch, we can do that. And we can do that with OneStream with the subscription we have. So it's not just a live that matters. You can set up your own television channel if you wish, and you can mix up adverts, with broadcasts about how-to, broadcasts about anything you like, and not sneak in. Make sure you put the adverts in as well, because on the recorded system, it's easier to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your own television channel, you could go live when you're not working on a Saturday morning. You could go live for 3 hours, playing the videos, playing the adverts, and then driving traffic to your website. So we always say that when you're actually going live, this is the easiest way there is of creating content. This video will be repurposed afterwards. We will do the television show thing. Yeah, we're going to do this. We'll be back. Just to change the schedule, though, we are broadcasting tomorrow at 12:30. We're back again though on Monday at 12:30, because apparently there's some rugby going on this weekend, and it's also a bank holiday.
It is a bank
holiday. Yeah. And that's the thing about Monday, though. It's a bank holiday. Is it bank holiday in Ireland?
No, ours is the week after.
Oh, right. Okay.
June bank holiday, 5th, I think it's 5th or 6th, 7th, whatever it is. Whatever the Monday is, but yeah, it's a week after yours. So,
Right. And we're hoping on that broadcast to have someone else from OneStream join us. And that's going to be interesting, because we'll get the inside story then, and we can ask questions and get answers on your behalf. If you've got any questions, contact Joe or myself, and we will, on the show Monday, answer them. If we've missed any questions, I know I've missed at least one. There was a question which was from Live Spaces, which is the web page hosted by OneStream. Could you actually hold a private party? Well, insofar and do what and play right now, I cannot say. I can only suggest what you can do. You could have a Live Space one page website from OneStream within your subscription, and you can broadcast there whatever you want, because it is private. When I say whatever you want, you have a decision to make, because if you do broadcast copyrighted material and the link to your broadcast gets into, I don't know whether to say the wrong or right hands, if it gets too widely known, you could get caught out for copyright. So just be aware of that. The odds are low, but always be aware that things can sort of go wrong. Yeah, I mean, playing copyrighted material is a no-no on Facebook and YouTube.
It is, and worse than I've had it in the past. I mean, I paid for my own rugby intro and outro videos to be done with royalty-free music on it. So I had somebody create these, and yet on a couple of occasions, I still got pinged on YouTube and especially on Facebook. And I queried it every single time, and I won every single time, 3 from 3 so far. But the difficulty is that your broadcast on the social media stops at that point, and then it doesn't matter whether you win the battle afterwards. It's because the algorithm sort of kicks in, and it's just generic capture all. However, going to your own website, you're not going to have that problem unless you're using somebody else's copyright. So you're right. You have to be careful of that. But if you're on your own website, you can control. You're master of your own destiny, and that's why we should be doing it. It's just another good reason.
Yeah. So drive people to your website. They can watch you live. They can watch the recordings. You can create your own television channel. There are no downsides to this. It's all included in your OneStream subscription. Joe, it's over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, day 4 done. I don't know where the time was flying through. I'm really, really enjoying these. Thank you to all the questions that we've had and all the inquiries. Yes, we will get back to people over the coming days and weeks and arrange, and we'll cover more of that on Monday, how you can contact us personally, how you can use our affiliate links if you want to join, get specialist advice if you want to do a discovery call with myself or Stephen or any of the team to be able to take that forward and learn how you can do it for your organization, or learn how that you yourself can become a host or a producer director, or to do the Udemy course. Any of those things will all be covered on Monday, as well as a whole range of other things until tomorrow at 12:30. From Ireland, Big Joe Sheppard, and from Devices in Wiltshire, Stephen Healey, thank you for supporting what we're doing.
Take care, everybody.